Hey y'all, welcome to Happy Acres Country Designs and welcome to today's video. We're going to step inside here in a little bit and I'm going to show you my Southern home style cornbread. My husband loves it, so let's go make some cornbread. Okay y'all, here are the ingredients for my cornbread recipe. Vegetable shortening, butter, 1 egg, buttermilk, cornmeal, right here is my beautiful cast iron skillet. This is what I use when I'm baking cornbread. Okay y'all, so here is the recipe. Of course, I've got my iron skillet. It's sitting on the stove. It's preheating. I'm going to put some shortening in here. I've already got shortening in the pan. My good old trusty cast iron skillet. We're going to put some more shortening in here and let the pan heat up, because it does wonders. If you start your cornbread in a hot pan, it's just going to make the cornbread crispier. So now that we have the shortening in there, let's move this out of the way. And here is something else that I use, some butter. But the way I like to do is put my shortening in the pan first and let the pan and the shortening heat up. And then put my butter in, because butter burns a lot faster than shortening does. So I just take a spoon. I don't use any measuring cups or anything. My hands is what I use to measure with. But I just take some butter, put it in the pan, and you can hear it sizzle. Okay, now we're going to get the butter out of the way. So now we're going to take cornmeal. Like I said, I don't use a measuring cup. I use my hand, and I use 4 handfuls of cornmeal to make a small batch of cornbread. But what I'd like to do is, of course, use a bigger bowl than actually what I need. That way it has more room to mix up everything. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. And since there's not a whole lot left, a whole lot of cornmeal left, I'm going to go ahead and put that in there. That will make just a little bit more cornbread. Okay, then 1 egg, some buttermilk, and again, I don't use a measuring cup when I'm making cornbread. I just kind of eyeball it. Just pour some buttermilk in there, and then I put some water in the mix. And again, I don't use a measuring cup. I just eyeball it and use my hands. So now we've got to check on this shortening and butter mix. Y'all hang on. Okay, you hear that sizzle? So yeah, it's just about ready to pour the cornbread mix in. So while that's finishing, getting heated up a little bit more, I'm going to stir this up. Okay y'all, we're ready to pour this mix into this pan. But I forgot to tell you, the temperature setting that I use is 350 degrees. I preheat the oven to 350 degrees, turn the oven on first, put my cast iron skillet on the stove, turn it on medium, put my shortening, which is about 2 tablespoons of vegetable shortening, in the pan, let it heat up. Then I put 2 tablespoons of butter in here and let it get heated up. And again, the reason I don't put the butter and the vegetable shortening in there at the same time is because butter burns a whole lot faster than vegetable shortening does. Then, once this is on the stove, the pan and the butter is getting hot, then I get my measurements. 4 handfuls of cornmeal, 1 egg, maybe about a half a cup of buttermilk, and just a little bit of hot water. Stir it up, put it in the hot pan, and we're ready to go. But before I put the mix in the pan, there's a secret that I like to use. After my mix is all mixed up, the shortening and the butter is nice and hot, I take the shortening and the butter and I put just a little bit, you hear that sizzle, I put a little bit of that into the cornbread mix. And the reason I do that is because it just makes the cornbread less dry. I know we've got buttermilk and we've got milk in here, but this is a trick that I use for my cornbread mix. I've always made cornbread this way, and I love it. I love it. Hang tight, we're fixing to put the cornbread in the oven. Okay, that should be stirred up enough. Here we go, we're pouring this mix into the trusty old cast iron skillet. And to me, there's nothing better to cook cornbread in than a cast iron skillet. Okay, we'll get that out of the way. And here goes the mix. No, here goes the cornbread in the oven. Okay, y'all, there is the cornbread in the oven. About 45 minutes, it should be nice and crispy. So y'all just hang on. Okay, y'all, here is the cornbread, fresh out of the oven. It looks delicious. Okay, y'all, I hope you have enjoyed today's video, which was different. It was a cornbread recipe video. I've been wanting to share this with you for a long time, but I do appreciate you watching this channel, and I hope to see you in my next video. And remember, we don't always have to throw everything away. Until next time, bye-bye.